I shouldn't be doing this. Running in the hallways is culturally unacceptable at Coppell Middle School East. It is taboo. Buenos dias, estudiantes. Obviously, I don't run like that. I was merely trying to explain what was culturally unacceptable in the hallways of Coppell Middle School East. Today's video lesson will be all about culture, going over some basics of culture so that you're ready to move forward with your test. As I go through this video, I'm actually going to be interviewing and asking questions to, which is the definition of interviewing, some 7th grade teachers that some of you may possibly have next year. And they'll help me go through this culture lesson today. I'm out of breath just from running that little bit just now. Hey, dude. That kid's there. There he is. So, running definition of culture. You'll need to know this for your blanks. Culture is how a certain group of people interact with each other and what they do day to day. All right, so maybe in one culture it's more important to respect your elders, or maybe there's specific greetings that you do. Okay, so how you interact with each other. What do you say? How do you act around each other? And then what are some things that you do day to day? What do you wear? What do you eat? Well, I'm having a small problem. I can't find any of the 7th grade teachers, and somebody just flushed the toilet, so that's probably going to be in the video. There's one. Oh, look. There's one now. Look over there. It's a 7th grade teacher. Do you have a quick sec? Yeah. Like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going over, can we stand? Is this bad? Is this bad? All the kids are going to watch this.
Oh, hello, children.
Edit that and post. We're talking about culture.
Okay.
And some of these kids, I'm using 7th grade teachers to help me because some of these kids may have some of these 7th grade teachers next year.
Science. Bring it on.
How would you describe the culture of your classroom?
Fun.
Could you spell that for us, please?
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for ukulele. N is for anywhere and anytime at all right here at Coppell Middle School East.
Is this slant rhyme? Does that rhyme? Ukulele and East?
I don't know. It's from SpongeBob.
It is. I actually do know that song. Look, there's more people. Oh. Okay, one more question.
The wild 8th graders.
The question that I'm asking you is not written down here. I'm just trying to make it look, they can't even see that I'm holding
okay,
cards.
yeah.
What is something that you did in your culture, like war, whatever it was, free time activities, that you did when you were their age that is no longer done? So, for example, I wore cargo shorts and played with tech decks. These kids do not know what cargo shorts are.
Yeah, that's a lot of pockets.
Putting you on the spot.
That's a lot of pockets. Well, I didn't get a phone till I was 16. And
Nice.
that phone was an old flip phone. So if I got done with my work in school, a lot of tic-tac-toe.
Yes.
A lot of like games that we would just randomly play on whiteboards, you know.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is proving that culture changes over time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always changing. Well, thank you. Miss Grover, by
You're
the way.
welcome.
I don't know, did I introduce you?
I don't know. 7th grade science, Miss Grover. Love you, little ones.
She will show you where your liver is next
treat
year.
Earth kindly. Go hug
Okay.
some trees.
Thank you. So capitalizing on what you just saw, that was the strangest. Hey, look, many of you have Miss Seifert this year. Or
She's not in here.
she's not in here, but normally Miss Roberts would sit somewhere about thus. But they don't teach 7th grade, they teach 6th grade. And so they're not really what we're going for here. But yes, culture is always changing. When I was y'all's age, I wore cargo shorts, as I just said. And I played with tech decks, which these little tiny skateboards that you can maneuver with your fingers. Y'all don't know what cargo shorts are or what tech decks are. So culture, what we do, what we say, how we act, is always changing. Okay, we're here with Miss Hostinsky in a very close-up of my beard hair. Sorry about that. Miss Hostinsky, what are some things that were relevant in your culture when you were the age of these middle schoolers that is no longer around?
I am a child of the 80s, so very much Atari. If it's past Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and Kickball and things on Atari and one joystick and one button, I'm out.
That's all we needed.
And clothes, it was parachute pants and neon and everything had some kind of slogan on it.
Perfect. Parachute pants. Some of y'all have to look that up. Cargo shorts and parachute pants. Look those up. Well, thank you very much. Miss Hostinsky teaches 7th grade LA, so some of y'all may have her next year. Okay, I never know to look here or here, but I think based off my eye pupils, this way is where. This is Mrs. Cast. She's a wonderful teacher of 7th grade social studies. Some of y'all might have her next year. And I'm going to ask her the same question. What is something that was culturally relevant when you were their age that is just no longer culturally relevant?
Well,
Darn it!
okay, you want to keep going?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. When I was in 7th grade, it was very popular to wear limited 2 clothing. You could only shop in limited 2 if you were cool. And then we also had flip-flops that we would tie little strips of bandanas to.
Decked out.
Yes,
Yeah.
like just a normal flip-flop with bandanas all tied on to the top. That was pretty cool. We played a lot of games outside because I grew up in Colorado. So I had a scooter, a Razor scooter, and we would just go down the hill. It would collapse on us often. That was
I
pretty
bet
fun.
most of these kids have not been outside before.
You know, I don't think so. That's,
When you don't have the internet, there's
something
nothing else to
new.
do. You go outside.
Yeah, and then in 8th grade, I did get a blog, and that is still on the internet today. So
I'm going to go research and find
it's
that
pretty,
right now.
it's pretty embarrassing.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you. All of those things, well, I guess blogs are still around.
They're still
But
around. Yeah.
the flip-flop things and all that, nope. So that just proves that culture changes. It's not constant. It's changing over time. Well, thank you, Mrs. Cast. Hopefully you have some of these kids next year. I'm taking a quick side note. I was walking around too much. I was getting winded with all the walking and running. I've got a cramp underneath my rib cage right here. So I'm taking a quick break in my room for this video series. I'm going to cover 2 more quick vocabulary terms as they pertain to culture. One is cultural diffusion. This is on your notes. Put it in there. Quit being lazy. Get out your notes and write this stuff down. Cultural diffusion, I'm going to give you a definition and then we'll talk about it, is the spread of ideas, customs, and technologies from one group to another. All right? So as we've talked about different empires, these bells. As we've talked about different empires getting larger over the course of the year, as we talked about the Silk Road, when people could trade, it was this series of roads where people could trade. Different ideas started to spread. Ideas, things that people use from day to day, customs, different technologies. All cultural diffusion is the spread of ideas, customs, and technologies from one group to another. All right, so going back to the Silk Road, yes, they would trade goods, blankets and foods and stuff like that, but they would also trade ideas or religious ideas or philosophies. All right, and so as a culture, a certain part of a culture is spread out, then that is called cultural diffusion. A lot of this, or a good example of this, because I'm a coach, is like when a new head coach of a football team is hired, he wants to establish his own new culture at that team, on that team. And so he will do things differently. He will try things differently, hoping to spread his idea of a good culture to the team and to the other staff. So it's just the spread of ideas, customs, and technologies from one group to another. The inverse of that is cultural assimilation. Cultural assimilation is when a culture takes on the culture of another group or society. So the team that the coach is trying to affect, when they buy into his philosophy or his culture or his morale, they are being culturally assimilated. They're taking on that coach's cultural identity. Or going back to the Silk Road, when the people that were accepting these new ideas and philosophies and goods, they were adapting, or not adapting, but taking on another group or another person's culture. They're being culturally assimilated. Let's see if we can go find a couple more teachers. Okay, our final interviewee, contestant?
I love it, yeah.
Is Miss Cooper. Some of y'all may have her this year, but hopefully if you don't have her this year, you have her next year. She's a 7th grade math teacher, okay? And I wanted to ask you about the culture of your classroom. What are some expectations that you expect out of your students in your classroom?
Well, I feel like there's several kids in this building who struggle with math, so when they come to my room, it's okay to struggle, but I encourage you to ask questions and just always give your best. That's the biggest thing, is give your best effort. I guarantee you our 7th grade teachers are amazing in math, and that we can get you where you need to be, but you have to be willing to put forth the effort and just be respectful. But I absolutely love math. I hope that I can pass that on to you guys, and then just encourage you to be nice humans.
Okay, so you have a culture in your classroom of it's safe to ask questions.
For sure, yeah.
You want to feel comfortable and to apply effort,
Right.
to actually try. Guys, math is tough sometimes, but it's very needed. And it can be fun, especially if you have Miss Cooper.
There you go. That's right.
And then the last question, what are some things that were culturally relevant when you were their age that is just no longer relevant nowadays?
Okay, I'm trying to think. Let's see. I remember wearing, which I don't even know if these are around anymore.
Probably not. Whatever you're about to say, probably
You may
not.
not even know.
No.
Rocky Mountain jeans.
Yes.
Okay. Jabot jeans, Lucky jeans. I think those are still sticking around.
I
a
know
little
you're
bit.
talking about, they were a little before me.
We would wear, which again, a small country town north of Lubbock, so we would wear the button-down Western wear shirts.
Yes.
And yes, it was greatness.
Did-
While we were carrying around our Discman.
Oh my goodness,
Yes. So
You had to hold it perfectly
yes,
still?
because especially I remember, I was an athlete back in the day, and
Yeah.
so on the bus rides, which were like 2.5 hours long, you had to be very careful in how you held that, because
Oh, yeah.
any bump, it was gonna stop and then start again, and
With the bass boost and
Yes.
everything, yes. All right.
It's true.
Well, this is perfect, because you guys don't know anything about what we're talking about.
No,
But that's just
clueless.
further proof that culture changes over time.
Yeah.
It's always improving.
Or that I'm old, one or
Or unimproving?
Yeah.
What's the opposite of improving? Get worse?
not improving.
Not improving. Okay, well, thank you, Miss Cooper. I'll let you tend to your classroom.
Awesome. Thank you.
I feel like I should have a plant here or something, like a fern or a daffodil. I think that's a flower. Or daffodils, flowers, ducks. Something aesthetically pleasing around here, other than these just football helmets. Anywhoozin, that's going to wrap it up for our video with the teachers. Hopefully some of you have some of them next year. And our final vocabulary term that we're going to look at, I alluded to when I was running in the halls. Don't run in the halls, children. What was culturally unacceptable. The inverse or opposite of this would be what is culturally acceptable. An appropriate thought or action as it pertains to a specific culture. At East, it is culturally acceptable or appropriate to exhibit the fish philosophy, okay? So you're going to be there for somebody, you're going to make somebody's day, so on and so forth. Those are culturally acceptable things. It sounds pretty straightforward, and it is. So for the rest of your time in class, you're going to watch this video, finish it. If you want to watch it twice, I worked really hard on it, so please do. You are going to make sure your closed notes are filled in properly, and then you're going to do a Quizlet, okay? So as much work as you can get with that Quizlet, the better and the more prepared you'll be for your test.